Introducing Neil Goh, Derek Zhu, and Max Friedman, 3 Brown University students and musicians in the spring of their senior years. Neil and Derek are violinists who won the Brown University Orchestra's concerto competition in 2019, and Max is a trumpet player and composer who's just completed his new work, Exospheres. These 3 musicians were planning to perform their works in the Brown University Orchestra's concert in April 2020. While the concert has since been canceled due to the coronavirus, we were able to follow these 3 artists as they prepared for their performances and spoke to them about their musical journeys during their time at Brown.
Music had always been kind of an aspect of my family's DNA. My mom was kind of like the star of her high school when it came to like doing all things music, playing piano, singing and all things like that. Kind of followed my brother's footsteps, who's a few years older than me. He picked the cello, which was my favorite instrument at the time, so I was kind of frustrated by that. But my mom, obviously the next best thing was violin for her. And it was at first admittedly something that was imposed onto me and I hated practicing. But after joining a bunch of ensembles, meeting a bunch of cool people through music, I had a lot of fun with it and thought it would be a great thing to keep up, and it was worth practicing for.
So I had known Neil in my first year at Brown because he was very active as a chamber musician and plays in a wonderful quartet, but was not in orchestra. This year, in his senior year, he's been a member of the orchestra and has been absolutely fantastic as one of our leaders.
I auditioned in the concerto competition in the fall with Henry Vieuxtemps' 5th violin concerto in A minor. That piece is known for being a very virtuosic, kind of flashy, Paganini-esque violin concerto. And I really liked that about that piece because, in high school, I did practice, but not to the extent that I wanted to be sort of, a violin prodigy or virtuoso, playing in these international competitions. And so I think studying this piece has really pushed me towards developing my technique really rigorously.
Neil played this piece in the concerto competition back in the fall. I and the other panelists on the jury were incredibly impressed by the sort of technical ability that he brought to bear on a very difficult piece, while at the same time balancing that with incredible lyricism and expressiveness. And it's a piece which I think very much speaks to his strengths as a musician.
I would say Brown definitely has shaped my understanding and appreciation of music, because back in high school it was a lot of, okay, you're going to play this Tchaikovsky symphony, you're going to play this Bach sonata, and sort of the traditional parts of the violin regiment. But now, collaborating with different artists and, experimenting with the meme program that we have at Brown, really has pushed me towards appreciating these other forms of art within music that aren't typically taught in high school. So I really love that about the Brown curriculum.
When I was around 6, my mom gave me a choice between piano or violin. She wanted me to explore music. I fell in love with violin and music around middle school, and that's when I really started to grasp what music truly meant to me. And I thought it was a way of communication that just language couldn't do. When I first came to Brown, the orchestra conductor at the time, Paul Phillips, recommended me to do the AMP or the private lesson program here at Brown, and he recommended I go with Lois as my private teacher. Lois especially always wants me to think more deeper about my every note that I play, what the meaning behind it.
And I've known Derek since he came to Brown as a freshman. It's been a lot of fun for me because he comes with a lot of musical energy, a lot of musical background, and always sets the bar high. He's very intense and he has a lot of chops, as we say in the business. He has a lot of technical flair and likes to play music which utilizes his facility.
So the piece that I'm playing for the concert in April is Tsugan by Ravel. The scope of the story that it tells is never dull. So one of the unique things about Tsugan is that in the beginning, it starts off with a cadenza, where a soloist plays by him or herself. And that's a time where you can take more freedom, establish more ideas, so that later on, when the orchestra jumps in, everyone is feeling the same type of music.
It's a great piece for him because he's a very free player. He likes to take liberties when he plays. I know he'll play forever, so that's great.
I got started doing music things when I was pretty young. I come from a family of musicians. And then I just started messing around on some old composition software when I was 8 or so. It wasn't anything for a while. I just started showing things to my dad, who was also a composer. So the musical community here is so unbelievably supportive. For me, the best thing has been being friends with other folks who are super passionate.
I've been working with Max since his freshman year. Yeah, Max has been a really vital member of the music department. He's been working with a number of our visiting ensembles here. It's been great to see him flourish as a composer.
So Max was actually one of the students that I remember meeting when I interviewed for this job. But throughout this past year, he's also been working with me and with Professor Nathan on his composition. And he's an incredibly sophisticated composer, and it's great to be able to feature a different side of his musical work with the orchestra.
Exosphere is this piece for the concert. It's a 13-minute long single movement piece for large orchestra. For me, this piece actually does bring out lots of mixed emotions. I mean, there are definitely parts of the piece that are gnarly and chaotic, but then there are others that are very peaceful, others that are extremely triumphant.
He has both music that has a sense of intensity to it and a great development of economical use of motive. And I think to have kind of a musical language that can encompass both humor and very serious music has been a real strength of his.
I mean, I'm so grateful to everybody who supported me along the way. This is not something that happens very often.
It's quite rare for this orchestra to be able to feature works by an undergraduate composer. I mean, he has the qualifications to do it.
It's really amazing how how Mark puts so much emphasis on promoting student experience, whether it's this or the concerto winners. But all this is also just because of the incredible support I've gotten from my family and friends, and from being in such an amazing musical community for the past couple of years.
Since this is the last concert of the year, it's an exciting time, but it's also sort of bittersweet because it's the last concert that our graduating seniors will do with the orchestra. But it's exciting to be able to feature a number of them in these special ways.